Stoic philosophy, originating in ancient Greece, has long been a guide for those seeking to live a virtuous and resilient life. Founded by Zeno of Citium and popularized by thinkers such as Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism emphasizes the development of wisdom, self-control, and acceptance of nature as an essential part of life. It is not about suppressing emotions but learning to deal with them rationally. Below, we will explore 10 Stoic practices that can transform how we face daily challenges and help us achieve a more fulfilling and meaningful life. But before we continue, I want to ask you to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Number 1. Distinguishing what is within our control. Stoics believe we should focus on what we can control and accept what is beyond our control. According to Epictetus, our actions, thoughts, and feelings fall within our domain, while external circumstances, others' opinions, and outcomes do not. This practice frees us from stress and anxiety, as focusing on what we can change prevents us from wasting energy on things we cannot influence. Instead of worrying about traffic on your way to work, focus on how you can use that time productively, such as by listening to a podcast or practicing mindful breathing to stay calm. Number 2. Memento Mori, remembering death. The practice of memento mori involves reflecting on mortality to remind us of the preciousness of time. Far from being a morbid view, Stoics believe that thinking about the finiteness of life makes us value every moment and live with more purpose. Imagine this is the last day you will see a loved one. How would that change the way you interact with them? This practice encourages us to be present and express gratitude more frequently. Number 3. Practicing negative visualization. Negative visualization is a mental exercise where you imagine negative scenarios that could occur, not to despair but to prepare. By considering potential adversities, we can develop a more resilient mindset and be better equipped to deal with difficulties. Before an important presentation, visualize possible problems, such as equipment failure or difficult questions, and prepare responses or solutions for each. This reduces surprise and emotional impact if they occur. Number 4. Amor fati, loving fate. Amor fati is the idea of accepting everything that happens as necessary and even desirable. Stoics teach us to embrace events, whether good or bad, as part of our destiny. This practice helps turn adversity into learning. If you lose a job, see it as an opportunity to explore new paths or develop skills you wouldn't have otherwise considered. Number 5. Practicing detachment, apatheia. Apatheia in Stoicism is not the absence of emotions but the freedom from being dominated by them. Stoics recommend detaching from things we cannot control to avoid being emotionally affected by them. If you encounter criticism, instead of reacting defensively, reflect on whether the criticism is fair and what you can learn from it. If it is not, simply let it go without disturbing your inner peace. Number 6. Mental diet. Stoics recommend being cautious about what we allow into our minds, similar to how we care about our diet. We are influenced by what we consume intellectually, and it can affect our thoughts and emotions. If daily news makes you anxious or pessimistic, limit your consumption and seek out information sources that offer a more balanced perspective. Feed your mind with ideas and readings that encourage personal growth and inner peace. Number 7. Practicing self-sufficiency, autarkia. Stoics value self-sufficiency as a path to freedom. The idea is to be prepared to depend as little as possible on external factors for happiness. This involves developing an internal source of satisfaction and not being driven by material desires. Instead of seeking happiness by buying something new, ask yourself if there is a way to find fulfillment in your current life, perhaps through hobbies, personal connections, or self-care. Number 8. Daily reflection. The practice of reflecting on the day at the end of each day is fundamental to Stoic development. Marcus Aurelius, for example, wrote his thoughts and reflections in a journal to self-assess and better prepare for the next day's challenges. Before going to bed, review what happened during the day. Think about how you handled events and what you could have done differently. Ask yourself if you acted in accordance with Stoic principles of virtue, wisdom, and moderation. Number 9. Practicing virtue as a life purpose. For Stoics, living a virtuous life is the ultimate goal. The 4 cardinal virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation, should guide our actions and decisions. This means seeking good not only for oneself but also for others. In a conflict situation, acting with justice may mean listening to the other person with empathy, trying to understand their needs, rather than just trying to win the argument. Number 10. Voluntary discomfort. Facing discomfort voluntarily, such as practicing intermittent fasting or taking cold showers, is a Stoic way of preparing the mind and body for adverse situations. This practice teaches that difficulty is not unbearable and that we can handle discomfort with serenity. Try walking to work instead of using a car or public transport. Although less convenient, it can help you develop discipline and appreciate comfort when it is available. Stoic philosophy offers a set of timeless practices that help us live with more wisdom, resilience, and purpose. By adopting these practices, we can learn to deal with uncertainty and suffering more balancedly, develop a deeper sense of gratitude, and live a virtuous life, focusing on what truly matters. Stoic principles do not demand perfection but a continuous willingness to improve. Thus, each day becomes an opportunity to practice the art of living well.